Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn. Chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với channel của mình. Và hôm nay chúng ta lại tiếp tục với series đọc truyện Peter Pan với mình và đây sẽ là phần số 36. Ok. Okay, let's go. Wendy remonstrated Michael. I'm too big for a cradle. I must have somebody in a cradle, she said almost tartly. And you are the littlest. A cradle is such a nice, homely thing to have about a house. Why should Sue deploy around her? Such a group of happy faces and dancing gleams lit up by the romantic fire. It had been a very family scene. This, in a home underground, but we are looking on it for the last time. There were a step above, and when you may be sure was the first to recognize it. Children, I hear your father's step. He likes you. Above, the redskins crouched before Peter. Watch well. Braves, I have spoken, and then, as so often before, the gay children dragged him from the tree. As so often before, but never again, he had brought nuts for the boys as well as a carrot time for Wendy. Peter, you just spoiled them, you know. Wendy's limber. Oh, Our Lady, said Peter, hanging up his gun. It was me telling him mothers are called old lady, Michael whispered to Curly. Entirely, it's just the same. There is something she wants to be to me, but she says it's not my mother. No, indeed, it is not. Wendy replied with frightful emphasis. Now we know why she was prejudiced against the skins. Then, what is it? It isn't for a lady to tell. Oh, very well, Peter said, a little nettled. Perhaps Tinkerbell will tell me. Oh yes, Tinkerbell will tell you, Wendy retorted scornfully. She's an obedient little creature. Here, think who was in her bedroom, eavesdropping, sneak out something imprudent. She says she glories in being abandoned, Peter interpreted. He had a sudden idea. Perhaps things want to be my mother. You silly ass, cried Tinker in a passion. She had said it so often that Wendy needed to know translation. I almost agree with her. Wendy snapped. Fancy Wendy snapping. But she had been much shy, and she little knew what was to happen before the night was out. If she had known, she would not have snapped. After you. She went to him and put her hand on his shoulder. Dear Peter, she said, with such a large family, of course, I have now passed my best, but I don't want to change me, do you? No, Wendy certainly did not want a change, but he looked at her uncomfortably, blinking, like one not sure whether he was awake or asleep. Peter, what is it? I was just thinking, he said. A little skill, it is only make-believe, isn't it? That I am their father? Oh yes, Wendy said primly. You see, he continued apologetically, it would make me so old to be their real father. But they are ours, Peter, yours and mine. But not really, Wendy, he asked anxiously. Not if you don't wish it, she replied. and she distinctly heard a sigh of relief. Peter, she asked, trying to speak firmly, what are your exact feelings to me? Those of a devoted son, Wendy. I thought so, she said, and Wanda sat by herself and at the extreme end of the room. The first dream came to Peter. Father, we want to dance. Dance away, my little man, said Peter, who was in high good humor. But we want you to dance. Peter was really best dancer among them, but he pretended to be scandalized. Me? My old bones would rattle, and Mommy too. What? Cried Wendy, the mother of such an orphan dance, but on the Saturday night, slightly insinuated. It was not really Saturday night. At least it might have been, for they had long lost count of the days, but always if they wanted to do anything special they said, this was Saturday night, and then they did it. Of course, it is Saturday night, Peter, Wendy said, relenting. Peter of our figure, Wendy, but it is our only among our own progeny. True, true. So, they were told they could dance, but they must put on their nip-tees first. And our old lady, Peter said aside to Wendy, warming himself by the fire and looking down at her as she sat turning a heel. There is nothing more pleasant of an evening for you and me when the day's toil is over than to rest at the fire with the little ones nearby. It's an often good story, said Nips. They flew away. When you continue, to the Neverland, where the lost children are. Just thought they did, Curly broke in excitedly. I don't know how it is, but I just thought they did. Oh, Wendy, cried Toddles. Was one of the lost children called Toddles? Yes, he was. I am in a story. Hooray. I am in a story, Nips. Hush! Now I want you to consider the feelings of the unhappy parents with all their children flown away. Oh, they all mourn, though they were not really consider the feelings of the unhappy parents one jot. Think of the empty beds. Ooh, it's often sad, the first twin said cheerfully. I don't see how it can have a happy ending. The happy ending, said the second twin. Do you, Nips? Still it is best to be careful, and no one knows so quickly as to try when he should give in. When he let us go on, cried John and Michael together. Yes, she said, cutting them. Not tonight, asked the lost boy bewildered. They knew in what they call their house that one can be on quite well with their mother, and that is only the mothers who think you can't. At once, when he replied resolutely for the horrible thought that could come to her, perhaps mother is in half martyring by this time. This threat made her forgetful of what must be Peter's feeling, and she said to him rather sharply, Peter, will you make the necessary arrangements?